A little over a year ago, I posted a video where I attempted a Pokemon Soul Link by myself, in which I played through 2 separate copies of Pokemon Platinum, while pairing each mon I caught across the games together. So now, I've decided to run it back, but this time I'll be competing against myself in a Versus. If you don't know what a Versus is, the concept is simple. You try to become the champion of a Pokemon game as quickly as possible. Now, because it would be too difficult to try and play 2 copies simultaneously, I'm just going to keep track of each game's playtime using an external timer, and then see which one was faster at the very end. By the way, this will be a randomized Nuzlocke in order to add to the fun. Anyways, if you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to hit that sub button as it really helps out the channel. And without further ado, it's time to attempt a 1-player Pokemon Versus. Throughout this video, I'll be referring to each game file as TQ1 or TQ2, just to keep things simple. I did name both of my rivals Time though, because, well, that'll be our biggest rival during this playthrough. Anyways, it was time for TQ1 to grab his starters, and man were they awful. It took a while for me to decide between a Masquerain, Misdreavus, and Rattata, as they all aren't great, but I eventually selected Rattata. TQ2 on the other hand had some amazing luck by getting the choice of Jirachi or Mew. After a quick look at their level up moves, I chose Jirachi. This did result in the following rival battle being an absolute slugfest, while TQ1 was able to progress relatively quickly. Along the way, he snagged a Fearow and Gyarados before making short work of the rivals team once again. TQ2 was attempting to catch up, but it didn't help that he failed to capture a Dragonair and Clefairy before realizing that he received a knockoff fishing rod. Okay, I swear my game is just broken. Like, come on, just give me a fish? This meant that the next rival fight was another stall. I mean, I'm just about to stop making this video because this is awful. But eventually, he picked up a Ninjask by Oreburgh City and defeated the first gym. Although TQ1 was ahead for most of the game up to this point, Roark thought it would be a great idea to own a Skarmory. Bro, of course it's his ace too. No way it has Anger Point. No way it just got Anger Point. Are you kidding? I mean, someone's for sure dying now because he just maxed out his attack. Yeah, goodbye, Jerry. It was good knowing ya. I mean, I think the whole run could end right here. And thanks for the crit, man. I really appreciate it. All right, Gary, it's all up to you. Just, you know, give this thing a thrash or two. Hope that it gets fully paralyzed, I guess. And, I mean, yeah, we've missed 2 thrashes in a row. I mean, this is it. This is it. Nothing I can do. Isn't this great? Okay, we get the crit. There's still a okay, why do I even play this game? So while TQ2 trudged along, TQ1 had to restart. Maybe this will be a blessing in disguise for him though, as TQ1 started with a Gabite before adding a Noctowl and a Lapras, who aided him in overcoming Roark at a decent pace. In the meantime, TQ2 was moving along nicely, minus another Jirachi stall battle. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. After snatching a Tangrowth, TQ2 made short work of Team Galactic in the Valley Windworks, along with Gardenia to give himself 2 badges. But TQ1 was determined to close the gap, despite Team Galactic really adding power to their usual teams. However, he eventually reached the Eterna Gym and swept everyone in there. The next section of the game was relatively similar for both game files, as TQ2 took care of Jupiter before encountering another Stally Jirachi on the cycling road. You couldn't even write this if you wanted to. Nonetheless, TQ2 picked up a Quilava on Route 206 in order to somewhat help with his fire weakness before sweeping Fantina's team with his new team member. TQ1 had no issues reaching Hearthome City, and even though Fantina tried to stop him with a Rayquaza, it was nothing that Lapras couldn't handle. So although TQ2 gained the big lead thanks to the whiteout against Roark, it seems that TQ1 is closing the gap thanks to some slow battles hindering TQ2. Both copies were hoping for a solid addition to the team upon the hatching of the egg from Eterna City, but neither wish was granted. Alright, I could really use something good out of this egg because I'm just too lazy to catch new encounters. Oh my gosh, you can't be serious right now. Alright, this thing took forever to hatch, so it better be something good. Oh my goodness. Yo, Rhyhorn, take that horn and shove it up. So TQ2 moseyed on along while catching a helpful Kabutops and knocking out Maylene's team in the process. Once again though, TQ1 was having no issues closing the deficit, as his time between obtaining the 3rd and 4th badge was over 10 minutes faster than TQ2's. This meant that the race was on towards Pastoria City, where both copies easily handled Crasher Wake, but yet again TQ1 did it a little bit quicker. TQ2 didn't have any problems dealing with Cyrus in Celestic Town, the rival in Canalave City, or Byron in the Canalave Gym. On the other hand, TQ1 decided to take some time and revive a bunch of fossils in Oreburgh City, which turned out to be nothing great. So that was a waste of time. But he still managed to reach Canalave City at a solid pace, and TQ1 was definitely feeling confident to say the least. And you have a Metapod as your final Pokemon. Hey, TQ1 is on the comeback, baby, let's go! TQ1 then caught a Hitmonchan in Iron Island before both competitors breezed through the admin battles at the lakes. It's really interesting right now, as TQ2 has a larger team with slightly lower levels and more type coverage, while TQ1 owns less Pokemon but with higher levels and less type coverage. Either way, both strategies are working right now. That would be until TQ2's Jirachi got critted by a Machamp Crosschop in the 7th gym and went down. Wow, I really jinxed that one. Hopefully this isn't the beginning of TQ2's downfall. From there, it was time to deal with some Team Galactic shenanigans, which weren't a big deal for either copy, besides a Palkia that Saturn owned on TQ2's side. Speaking of which, TQ2 took a detour to revive a Toxicroak and Dratini back in Oreburgh City, who will aim to get caught up with the rest of the team. On top of Spear Pillar, Commander Mars and Jupiter tried to slow down TQ2 with a Latias, but failed to do so as he made his way through the Distortion World and defeated Cyrus. The same can be said for TQ1, and both competitors obtained the 8th badge without too many issues. So it was time for the final stretch, in which TQ2 made it look easy with a dominating victory over the rival, and a clean sweep of the Elite Four and Champion. And down goes Cynthia's last Pokemon. I don't know, I feel like I may have held on to the lead, but man, I had way too many slow battles throughout this run, so I really have no clue. TQ2 elected to catch a Nuzleaf in Victory Road just for some extra type coverage, before also making his way to the Pokemon League, where he defeated the rival, took care of Aaron and Bertha, before losing his Hitmonchan to Flint's Purugly. That wouldn't stop him though, as he persevered through the rest of the Elite Four and Cynthia's team, which included a level 62 Metapod by the way. But was his valiant effort enough to come out on top? And Cynthia's last Mon is a Metapod, no freaking way. Well, I think I may have made the comeback, but I'm still a little nervous. So without further ado, the winner of this one-player Pokemon Versus is TQ number 1, finishing with a time of 5 hours, 44 minutes, and 43 seconds. That's right, believe it or not, TQ1 did manage to complete the comeback, and with some time to spare, as TQ2 became the champion in 6 hours, 17 minutes, and 32 seconds. So despite losing early against Rourke, TQ1 still ended up victorious. Getting Gabite with Dragon Rage at the start of the game definitely helped, and overall, TQ1 just had stronger Pokemon than TQ2. I guess this can be a little life lesson, as even if you go down, don't give up entirely. I had a ton of fun making this video, as it was really suspenseful the whole way through, since I had no clue which game file was going to win. For now though, I hope you guys enjoyed, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces!